Alert, alert. Prisoner is escaping. Alert, alert.
Help. Someone help. Let me out. This is a big hole. How do I get over it? That is the kidnapper. I have to sneak out. I got out. It's pouring. Help. It's so dark. Ah, scary dog. So much smoke. How do I get out? Horrible. He's stuck. I need to save him. Good luck. That is a lot of fire. What kind of rain? At 10, it stopped raining. That tasted good. Oh no, shark. An island. What do you want?
$1% and dollar.
I don't understand. Oh, help, help, over here. Something strange. What's that? I have to sneak out. Shoot them. Another two. There's a house. Medieval armor. It is freaking me out. This shield saved me. Disgusting. Saved by the sun. Ghost. What do I do? There's a tree blocking the road. What do I do? Get out of the way. That is one big zombie. Let's try this. He's fine. What should I do? Coming in. I have to slip away. Well played. Not another scary dog. Bye, scary dog. I need to sit down for a moment. Oops, the paint is wet. Quick change. Not the thief again. And stay down. He is shoplifting. Uh-oh. Let's turn back the clock. I need to do something. He's followed. Take this. Smooth landing. Attack. Your tank is gone. Just a second. Earthquake. Always wear a helmet. Anybody there? This would be loud. I need to get out of here. A broken vase. Let's try turning back time. So much longer. Yay, an elevator. Our dog. Who's there? Take this. Wow, that car is totaled. What can I do? That did the trick. So cold. Spicy. A mo. How do I get past this hole? Thanks heavens for the sun. A big scary bear. I can order takeout food. Let's build it a glue. Now the water is nice and warm. What a cute sled dog. Mush, dog, mush. Why did we stop? How do I get past? It's a beautiful rainbow bridge. What a giant snow creature. Look at that, it melted. So thirsty. Must find water. Water. Tornado. Cool, I found a pyramid. How do I get past these spikes? How do I open this door? The scales of justice. Me. A man-eating plant. Abracadabra. Quicksand, help.
Your wish is my command. Okie dokie. What's next? Oh no, you lost the chest. Which was it again? Your wish is my command.
What kind of table can you eat? A vegetable is correct.
I can't see, I need some light. A dinosaur. It looks hungry too. This boulder is blocking the way. Wham.
$% in dollar.
$% in dollar.
Enjoy yourself. How do I move this car? How do I get past? The car is stuck. A cave. Another scary dog. How do I get through? A prehistoric TV. Maybe I can get in working. The doorway is filled in with stones. Spider. I hate spiders. A zombie. How do I open this door? This door needs a password. What's the password? Stupid zombies. Get over this. In fact, this is my chance to get away. Again, how do I get past it? A robot guard?
Thank you.
Why would they keep a zombie alive? How do I get past the camera? They can't see me. How do I get past this? It's so dark. The ship is depressurizing. I can fix this. The artificial gravity has failed. Strange planet. It's too strong. What do I do? Spider. So cold. Some exercise will warm me up. Much warmer. How does this smell? This seems like a bad situation. I think it is time to get out of here. This is a nice picnic. No ants allowed at this picnic. Good stop. I hate the rain. by wolf. This one looks hungry. Apples. Look, a hot air balloon. Go away, stupid bird. The balloon can't get past. Cute alpacas. What should I get to eat? I have to stop this creepy guy. Got him. That has got to hurt. The drink cart is blocking the way. Balloon straight. How do I get the door open? That bird looks crazy. See an alien. Want to work some magic. What is that terrible smell? It is so hot. And it's like standing in front of an open fridge. Dragon. So thirsty. There's a raft, but how can I get to it? A boat over here. I am safe now. I need a boost somehow. I'll move birds. I need to get past. A thunderstorm. This isn't good. Brought to the rescue. You again. Get him. He is coming back. What do I do?
That looks familiar. A mannequin? Freeze.
I'm stuck. This trash is blocking the way. What do I do? I can do it.
I answer to it, so what better?
Which path should I choose? I got through the maze. A boxing kangaroo. Which path should I choose? I got through the maze. These signs are complicated than the maze. I'm just going to use my phone for directions. Which path should I choose? I got through the maze. That is a huge bee. Which path should I choose? I got through the maze. That panda doesn't look friendly.
Welcome to the amazing circus. The performers are ready. Here comes our first performer. What a big tiger. Our second performer. This fair does not look happy. Next is our special guest, Mr. Clown.
Welcome to the acrobatic show. Make some noise for the
Let's
I am safe now.
vampire. Have some garlic.
I have you now. Exclamation mark. You're getting on my nerves.
Sucks to be you, vampire. What an odd chest. Day magic wand. Thanks. Let's try this wand. Ah, Medusa.
And stay down.
Watch me work some magic. That is one big lake. Freeze one. It got cold fast. Yay. This coat feels so warm. Tentacle? How do I get past it? You just got cut. HMM, how do I open this door? Open the door. That is one huge bat. Fire-breathing dragon. Muzzle. Oh, help. Back. How do I get across? Hungry? It's so dark. The pillar's about to fall down. Fixed. The boulder is blocking the exit. He does not look happy to see me well. The whole camp. I wonder what he wants. I'm wanted. Don't shoot. The power of money. He is blocking the door. The prince is hosting a party. I want to go.
Where are you going?
She won't let me leave. What should I do?
What happened to the flower pot? Going somewhere? Clean the floor first.
That's disgusting. I need to get away from this place. Elegant porch. Those shoes are so beautiful. I wish I had shoes like these so I could attend the ball.
Let's get you ready for that ball.
Thank you. I can't walk that far. I need a ride. How do I get his attention?
Delicious. May I have this dance?
I will make you sit on this banana peel. No, you ruined my
Time is running out. $% and clean the floor. That's our prince.
Stop. Go away.
What a beautiful day. How do I get out of here? I did it. Thanks, nature. The apple is delicious. I'm not sure if the rope is strong enough. There. That's a big boulder. Perfect. The elephant is blocking the way. That was close. Let me out. I'm free. How do I get this raft to move? There's a huge crocodile. The raft is stuck. Waterfall. I can fly. Where am I? It is blocking my path. What should I do? It caught up. Now's my chance to run.
How can I help you, sir? Something is wrong with my jetpack.
It is on fire.
Thanks. It is working again. Oops, I am stuck. A little help. Good work. Something still isn't right. I need to check it. You are much better than my last assistant.
You've got so many new toys in your laboratory.
Go ahead. Let me show you my new invention. Give it a try. The lady deserves the beautiful flower.
Out of a man-eating plant. Some kind of plant is blocking the door. How do I get over this hole? It looks like it is about to attack. What a strange-looking rabbit. Why does he keep turning around? He didn't see me. Where is he going? Oh no, he is going to turn around again. Did Mr. Rabbit just get into the tree hole? Oh no, the umbrella turned inside out. The airbed saved me. Mr. Rabbit, wait for me. Where did he go? I shrank cool. That is one big ant. How do I get across this pond? Look at that, it was just a little puddle after all. A card soldier? What a big caterpillar.
Off with him head. Where did him head go? I am so confused.
Help. A shipwreck and lock. It is full of treasure. The treasure has been collected. I should keep moving. Oh no, shark. That song is mesmerizing. No, I must block it out. Good, I can't hear it anymore. He is trying to tempt me, I must resist. Now he can't tempt me anymore. They are in my way. They have fallen in love. That is one angry puffer fish. And there is goes, just like a balloon. What a big octopus. An anglerfish. A submarine. Awesome. An electric eel. Oops, the submarine is stuck. Oh, a beetle. I should catch it. Who dug this hole? How do I cross the river? Piece of cake.
Grows in fields, it can be eaten piece by piece. What is it? What gets wet as it dries? What tastes better than it smells? I need a map.
I need to keep going.
I wouldn't go straight if I was you, hee hee hee. Ouch. Okay, like dot, it's a dead end. Go straight. I hurt my wig. Can you help? Thanks.
I need to wake the tiger to get past.
Shut up. Bitch creep. Can't hear you on a bitch, but creep fuck bitch with creep fuck shit. Fuck to death.
Is that the sword in the stone? I guess I am the king now. A dilemma. How do I get past? Strange and dangerous looking creature. A knight maybe can get her to join me my journey.
Your Highness.
An archer sent to kill me. A giant tentacle. How do we get past? Do something?
Who should eat the apple?
I need something to get past this giant creature.
I didn't mean to do that, but it seems to be worked.
Oh no, I triggered a trap.
Show me your skills with a sword.
No thanks. The Holy Grail.
Warning, critical damage to core. Please evacuate immediately.
The city is being destroyed. How do I get past this fire?
Do you need a ride?
Thanks, but I think it is safer on foot. He's going to step on me. What do I do? My disguise worked. That was close. How do I get past this lava? A baby monster. What do I do? Yes, a helicopter. Stupid gate. I have to get past. Oh no, the monster.
I lost my magic wand. Can you help me find it?
What should I do? A hole. Why do I keep running into holes? Easy enough.
I am too weak. Take my power.
I have to fight. I think I'm getting the hang of this power. My ex is here. I don't want to talk to him. Thanks for the ride.
Ticket, please.
He doesn't look like normal event staff. What should I do? How lucky. There are less people in this line. I wonder why. Wow, look at all the cool merch. Which should I wear?
Stage in this way. Follow me.
She wants to do my makeup. How should she do it?
All done. You look fab. Grab your equipment and follow me.
This is the best seat in the house. So many people. What should I do?
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.
I would like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Superstar. The future is now. Time to groove. East Coast Electro Groove. It moves you. Flow with the music. Funky music. Okay. One man's dream. Beat me, baby. UK beat. Transmission. Play with my cover.
Bump to the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back. Play with my cover.
Bump to the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back.
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.
Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. Taking you to a higher state. Goodbye, sober day.
Easy
On the cut.
Easy
On the cut. Rock me, baby. Rock me, baby. Taking you to a higher state. Goodbye, sober day.
Easy
On the cut.
Easy
On the cut.
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.
I think they want me to perform. I don't know how to play guitar.
Stop. How did you manage to get on stage?
Quick, what would a rock star do? We came to rock. Why did the lights turn off? Is the museum closed? He looks like he could use some help.
There's an outbreak of the plague here. Turn back.
What should I do?
Oh good. You have a mask. You may pass, but be careful. Can you have me look tall and commanding? Where did I leave that circular thing?
She looks like she could use a makeover.
It is too quiet.
What should I do?
В натуре качает. Когда вы этому научились?
What is he looking at?
If only there was something to focus on. I am so close, but I am missing something. Well, I messed with time, and now I am a child.
I can't hit him.
How do I help him get back to the correct age? The Middle City exhibit. I must be close to the exit. They think I am the enemy. They have friends too. What do I do about this?
Mister, the museum is closed.
Time to prepare breakfast. My hair is on fire. Help. What can I do? Sorry, isn't it ready for breakfast? How do I stop the mower? A frisbee. A mole did all this? I heard something in the other room. Maybe I should take something as protection. A mouse. A thief. What should I do?
Thief, you are coming with me.
I should head to the store and get supplies before lockdown goes into effect. What should I wear? Which bag should I take? I need to wear something for protection. Maybe I can beat the light. Traffic jam, what should I do?
The traffic should be clearing up momentarily. The duck and her ducklings were crossing the road.
The supermarket is so busy today. Should I wait to get dropped off in front, or just get out here? Which should I get? I need some lockdown snacks. All this shopping has made me thirsty. That guy just cut in line. What should I do? I think you dropped some change.
Cash or credit?
Credit. Can anyone help me?
How can I help?
Help. How do I? This door's open. This isn't guard. What should I do? How do I get past this? And surveillance camera? What do I do? I got out. How do I get out this way? How did you find a first path? How did you find a second path?
Exclamation mark hash $% and plus.
Did you find a third path? Help, it's so dark. And surveillance camera?
Здрасте, какая миссия про агентов Хенна? Это миссия смерть жены Кента Пола, и его защитить, победить агентов Хенна и получить награду. Спасибо, Фанк, ты взял мои бинокли. Садись в машину, возьми мне бинокль и посмотри. Семья Пола и ей квартира. Мишель, что делаешь? Чистишь книжные полки. А, кто ты? Ты убил мою жену. Хен, остановитесь, я вызову полицию. Похоже, о боже, эти лидеры ФБР убили жену Кента Пола. Похоже, что жена Кента Пола все пали за ним. Похоже, они молодцов Кен. Спасибо, Бог, про миссию. Фанк, ты настоящий выполнитель миссии в мире. Получил тебе уважение и полицейская система и рации. Давай.
Сука, блядь! Этими руками, блядь!
industrial market's clogged, where is cigarette housed? Mayor, we don't make a diamond and produce goods from nowhere. It looks like our industrial growth is putting us around our limited neighbor connections. Put some gas in the industry engine by rolling out more load of rail systems to our neighbors. We can't sun our laws when we're sitting on our products, can we? The steam technology see high and play pen. Mayor, I know you sometimes have trouble distinguishing between calculator and a cookie, but I host the brightest scientific minds that the city of large knows and respects science and technology. The Committee for Communicating Members has announced an advanced research center being built here in Judgment Town with a blessing, of course. Sons of the heavens, the Burglar. Mayor, Judgment Town has become a religious community of more than 1,000 sinners, and those spiritually minded sinners are requesting a gathering place to express their ongoing concerns. Please consider a petition for a house of worship in Judgment Town. Acts were put sinners on solid ground. Mayor, there are some people that are comparing costs that fit formulas, and one of the best is that education means opportunity. Not to mention that it helps some satisfaction and general good. Take place to promote full education in Judgment Town, keeping all the school systems sound and all libraries and museums well funded. An educated workforce is a force to be reckoned with. Broadcasting will distinct Judgment Town as a star. Make sure your both sides is visible. Mayor, the cameras are rolling. Looks like Judgment Town has gotten the attention of some media lords, and they want to put the television studio into operation now. Now what I've seen is what's so popular with no tears, only cheers. Judgment Town should need to come in anything now. Oh there, Mayor. Judgment Town is a charming cosmopolitan city, and our seaside settings put us on every tourist itinerary. So it's no surprise that Global Royal Cruise Lines wants to drop anchor here. They're offering to make Judgment Town one of their premier ports of call if we get a small service building a cruise ship port. I must say, the increase in tourism will help our local businesses and make it worth the expense. Judgment Town will go into the new stock market. Another feather in your cap, Mayor. The various colors of money, they incorporated and recognized that there are no strangers to high-flying finance, and they've asked to locate the Central Stock Exchange in Judgment Town. With day trading being a little dollar of mine, this should keep my long-distance bills down. Mayor of Giant of Government Gifts. Excellent news, Mayor. Everywhere I turn. I run into citizens who all have a commitment to leadership. It seems the whole city is mesmerized by the charms and the coming city management. Holly has been trying to get everyone in line, but I feel like returning calls from other mayor's estimates and other secrets. Walk tall, Mayor, walk tall. Industrial market's clogged, where is cigarette housed? Mayor, we don't make a diamond and produce goods from nowhere. It looks like our industrial growth is putting us around our limited neighbor connections. Put some gas in the industry engine by rolling out more load of rail systems to our neighbors. We can't sun our laws when we're sitting on our products, can we? Attention, unauthorized penetration of zombies.
Businesses buckling under bad tax tickers. Let's write off any future growth in Judgment Town's commercial sector. Mayor, you're punishing middle commercial tax rate his professionals, retailers, and office hands working harder and harder for less and less profit. And I don't expect any new businesses to seek haven here soon. Judgment Town Cemetery's popular resting spot. Our cemeteries must have a certain appeal. Mayor folks keep flocking to them and staying. It's obvious that we can't meet the needs of our more efficient and tuxedo-rainful companies unless we build another cemetery. A new house for the newly devout. Mayor, you may think those splitting hairs, but our spiritual sins are definitely splitting up. A branch of divinity students from the original church wants to break our and start their own house of worship. Do you approve the erection of a new front for these followers? Top cops demand Mayor Funk to Chopper. Judgment Town is a strong and proud city, with a strong and proud police force. So why are we keeping them grounded in old-fashioned facilities? Our police captains have presented me with a plan for a new deluxe police station, able to serve more people in a larger area. And get this, it comes with its own police helicopter. What fun, I mean, how effective for fighting crime. Fight fires from above, new facilities offered. Our firefighters do a fine job, but we must understand how difficult their job is. With each alarm, they must navigate our busy city streets, and then fight towering flames from below. They say that any mayor with heart would understand their desire for a new facility that would allow them to drop water or other flame retardants from above. grant them this wish and build them a fire department landing strip. Our firefighters will be walking on air. Burying feet first could save room, but alternative preferred. Mayor, it seems like they're packing them in at our cemetery dying to get in, you might say. Anyway, it's filling up fast, and we can't have any bodies sitting above ground for too long. Prudence dictates that we should build another cemetery.
Attention, unauthorized penetration of zombies.
Business is buckling under bad tax figures. Let's write off any future growth in Juggalo Town's commercial sector. Mayor, you're punishing middle commercial tax rate as professionals, retailers, and office hands working harder and harder for less and less profit.
Local road reaches room the chaos of cars. Ouch. Juggalo Town has been experiencing some serious growing pains lately, Mayor. We've been getting chronic delays and recurring accidents on this stretch of road, and more drivers are getting road rage. The whole area is becoming a traffic nightmare, and we need to do something to relieve the strain. You could upgrade the road to an extra wide avenue, which would probably require some expensive demolition. You could make this road into 2 lanes one way, a much cheaper solution. But you'd need to be sure you made another nearby parallel road one way in the opposite direction. Finally, you could redirect the bulk of this traffic bypassing these crowded roads by beefing up capacity elsewhere in the vicinity. This mission allows you to become familiar with the basic aircraft controls. If you forget the controls, look at the status window in the upper right of the screen. To complete the mission, fly the aircraft to the flashing target before time runs out. Big-time traffic problems hit Local Avenue. It's bumper to bumper out there, Mayor, and this particular avenue is in especially bad shape. Every day at rush hour it becomes a virtual parking lot as commuters too. Perhaps it's time to consider some major upgrades. What if we constructed a rapid transit line to give these drivers an alternative commute? Or you might consider building a highway to handle the extra volume. Both are big investments, and you'll need to be sure that you provide proper access, such as transit stations or highway ramps, to ensure they will be used.
Inhabitants of Juggalo Town ask for small church. Mayor, the residents of Juggalo Town have asked for a small church to be built. A small step up from the wooden simple chapel you built earlier. Build a small church. Inhabitants of Juggalo Town ask for brick church. Mayor, the residents of Juggalo Town are now asking for a little more prestigious brick church to be built. A step up from the simple church you built earlier, which will make the community feel more proud of its growth. Build a medium church. City Hall is busting at its seam. Medium upgrade is on offer. Gosh, Mayor, it's a standing room only in every government office in Juggalo Town, and sometimes they are standing on each other's toes. It's nice that the city has grown to such dimension, but our City Hall hasn't grown with it. Put a big, spanking new one on the map so we'll be able to open a desk drawer without standing on the desk.
Oh my god, these FBI leaders.
Attention, unauthorized penetration of zombies.
Sure, I'll take this cats and dogs book.
Камень Вангаку Киодею Макасу, Чекайна Обачен.
Стара.
А соседи не будут жаловаться.
Ну-ка залетели на бит. В натуре качай. Когда вы этому научились?
Hello, sir. Please, I want number 69, for Hotel Vankemhof. Good luck.
Warning. Critical damage to court. Please evacuate immediately.
It's today now watching your movies and Netflix.
Exclamation mark at $% and plus.
Hello. Please, I want number 69 for Hotel Bank Emhoff. Good luck.
Shut up. Bitch creep fuck. Can't hear you on a ditch, but creep fuck bitch with creep fuck shit. Fuck to death.
В натуре качает. Когда вы этому научились?
The traffic should be clearing up momentarily. The duck and her ducklings were crossing the road.
It's today now watching your movies and Netflix.
You guys look very unflattering. Ah! No! No! Stop! Stop it! Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Oh, shoot. No, 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 no! Why? 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 Alright, just gonna angle right, grab some gas rope. No! Ah! Come on in, beautiful. Let's go for a ride. No! Stop it! Stop it! Ah! I'm gonna train for this bike marathon even if it kills me. Oh! Nice night for a jog, huh, guys? Ah! Ah! Oh, shoot. Ah! Ah! He's going for the 900! Woo! Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap! Oh! No! 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 Ah! Ah! Not again! Leave me alone! No! I believe I can fly. I believe I... Gang. Okay. Good. Why? Why? Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Your car sucks. Oh shoot. Ah! Ah! Oh! Hello, ladies. Do you mind if I join your yoga? Ah! Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Hey, do you guys know where, like, the Cluckin' Bell is around here? I'm just new to the neighborhood, and I just was wondering if I, oh, crap. Not again! Not again! Why? Kobe, baby. Whoa, no, Yeah! Yeah! Oh my gosh! No! Bleh. This is gonna take a while. Well, there goes my plane. The heck? Is this guy real?
Все, ложись и спи. Я хочу играть на телефоне. Какой еще играть на телефоне? А ну выключи и положи телефон. Спать давай, тушу свет. Я хочу кушать и пить чай. Какой есть и пить чай, спать легай. Я хочу играть на компьютере. А ну выключи, какой играть на компьютере. Ночь на улице, люди спят. Я хочу читать и рисовать и кататься на гироборде. Спать давай, я тушу еще. Один шум завяжу до дерева на улице и съест собаки.
Hello Giddy, how you been in space? FBI news, what happened?
How the fuck you're a fucking vetted out burglar? I called the police.
When I completed an explosion in FBI space station.
This intruder can be caught by my enemy. You're stupid people.
Giddy, give me a break from going to my gym.
You cannot leave Bobby or a fucking death.
Later, Giddy.
Stand Bob, you are arrested after robbing a lot of money.
Juggling Town seems smart. Quite cool, Mayor, out of thousands of candidates. Juggling Town has been chosen to be the site of the new Modernist Collection Museum. I guess our established commitment to museums must have influenced them, though it might also have been those spray paint sales at hardware stores. Juggling Town's culture may even simply must have an upward. Can you hear those dulcet tones, Mayor? Those RT voices of Juggling Town opera fans, imploring you to build a prestigious center for the operatic arts to house those thrilling children's story songs. Now we'll finally have a use for those Viking helmets we've had in storage. Religious call for new roof. Mayor, we're known as a tolerant town for all manner of spiritual quests and purposes. And now that Juggling Town has grown to its present standing, a new group of seekers is calling for another house of worship in which to practice the tenets of their faith. Should we answer the call? The growing town immortalizes their favorite mayor. Strike the gong and sing along. Mayor, Juggling Town's growing strong. And in honor of your distinguished record directing this growth, the citizens have decided to present you with a larger-than-life statue of your own likeness. Your visit will be an inspiration for decades to come. Serious Simpson solves its overpower. Mayor, I've been hearing from a growing number of Sims who are concerned about the negative environmental impacts of the region's power plants. They told me to tell you they'd like the next new power plant for Juggling Town to be solar. Oh, and they also ask that we keep the skies clear and sun shining to ensure maximum effectiveness. Convention Center sees its commercialization as a whole. Mayor, the business community needs your ear. They are convinced that Juggling Town hasn't fully put the welcome mat out for businesses and travelers. They're 100% behind putting a convention center here to attract visitors and visitor dollars. Big-time Juggling Town Mayor receives colossal honor. Sims to the right of us, Sims to the left of us, we are surrounded by smiling Sims, over 120,000 of them. Your nurturing the Juggling Town from swaddling clothes to tens to maturity has included your citizens' watchful eye. They propose a reward, a great glorious statue of your honor, greeting citizens old and new. Long may it shine, Mayor. Juggling Town prep for new prep school. Mayor, we have some citizens in Juggling Town quite sensitive to educational issues. They find our public school system lacking, and the existing private school is full up. They wish to build a new private school, with their blessing, of course. Big leaders come to Juggly Town, a major stadium proposed. Our sports fans are fanatics, and there sure are lots of them in Juggly Town. That's why we've been offered a spanking new Major League Stadium. We've got sports nuts in every corner of the city cheering at the prospect. Sounds like heel smart as well. Paper shufflers unite an important new government structure. Civil servants are celebrating all over the city, Mayor. We've been awarded a new bureau of bureaucracy to house all of the city's unsung employees. They do celebrate a bit loudly by sharpening their pencils and quietly clear their throats, but they are celebrating, and that's the important part. Farmers market will shorten the route from field to table. Mayor, the farmers in Juggly Town report bumper crops, but they're tired of driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic to get their goods to distributors. Why don't you put a local farmers market in operation so those green goods can get to someone as fast as they're picked? Nothing so fine as a strawberry right off by. State Fair, the apex of agriculture. Mayor, it's nice to be recognized from all corners, and the particular corner this time has things growing and crowing in it. State Fair officials have designated our agriculturally accommodating city as the beneficiary of their new fair site. We'll have candy apples and rodeo rides plenty soon. And that's no bull, Mayor.
Warning! Critical damage to court. Please evacuate immediately.
I would like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Superstar. The future is now. Time to groove. East Coast Electro Groove. It moves. Flow with the music. Funky music. Okay. One man's dream. Breathe me, baby. UK beat. Transmission. Play with my cover.
But the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back. Play with my cover.
But the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back.
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.
I would like to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Superstar. The future is now. Time to groove. East Coast Electro Groove. It moves. Flow with the music. Funky music. Okay. One man's dream. Breathe me, baby. UK beat. Transmission. Play with my cover.
But the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back. Play with my cover.
But the beat that moves your feet.
Can't hold me back. Can't hold me back.
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.
Rock me baby, taking you to a higher state.
Goodbye, sober day.
Easy on the cut. Easy on the cut.
Rock me baby, taking you to a higher state.
Goodbye, sober day.
Easy on the cut. Easy on the cut.
My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me. My ears are white. My bicycle is broken. Please fix it for me.